Even though the public debate of 2020 has mostly been about a virus, scientists still notice that the general public carries plenty of misconceptions. Microbiologists have seen this struggle for years now. 2020 is the year in which one microbe, the COVID-19 virus, grasps our full attention, and it is time for a teen engagement activity, in which all the dimensions of the microbiology get a chance to be discovered. In the UK, students mainly learn about microbiology in two types of contexts. First, bacteria, viruses, and fungi as pathogens in animals, plants, and people. And two, the role of microorganisms as decomposers in the cycle of the food chain. Most adults, and thus teens, are still confused about what microbes are, where they come from, and what they do. For example, what is the difference between bacteria and viruses, and how do they reproduce? The challenge is getting a young public interested in science, but not only science, specifically astrobiology. Astrobiology is a theme that speaks to the imagination of children, but most often they do not understand the material and some sort of lecture on microbiology is required. The challenge is, how do you get the public to understand the basics of the research field with an interactive public engagement activity, and how could the multi-sensory lab in the National Museum of Scotland be improved? The University of Edinburgh has recently added a place in the museum for their experiments, and they could be displayed for the next 100 years. An opportunity to solve this problem arises in this exhibition. Children could prepare their visit with a fun activity that helps to create an understanding of the material around the experiments in the museum. Each child could do this at home or at school with the supervision of a parent or teacher to help. The little take-home experiments should be comparable with the large academic experiments on microbes and the meteorite that is presented in the museum. The first teens participating in the take-home activity will be from a local school class. As an extracurricular activity for these biology students, they will visit the museum, and in preparation, they will receive homework as an assignment, which will be the take-home activity. This activity will contain a practical list of necessary items, such as a small rock from the nearby park, a jam jar sterilized with boiled water, granulated sugar, and other household items. They will find results of counted fungi cultures from the rock, since this simplified version of the experiment could not register all microbes. For example, a bacterial culture would require a harder to find sterile petri dish, and sorting the different groups would be done with DNA extraction, which requires a laboratory. This simplified activity can be completed within your kitchen in a 2-week time period, at which they will plenary collect the results with their classmates. Once the take-home experiment shows results, the children could bring these results along to the museum. There is a data pool with all the data collected by children with this take-home activity that came before. If the first children bring the results our school class, they already exist in a data pool with the class themselves. The children can input their results, their collected data into this data pool, and then compare their own results with the average from the data pool. And then also an automatically generated code will compare the average of this data pool with a large academic experiment. At least, that is what it tries. The experiments differ due to complexity, but also due to the experiment's possibilities. A guide will help the teens with comparing the experiments themselves. They will work towards what they can change, improve with their own experiment. They can even design a whole new one. Children add value to the existing knowledge, which could be used in a later study, and they get to grasp the concept of what experimenting is and means. This proposal for a public engagement activity has found its way through an interactive activity with 16-year-olds. This activity can develop and is supposed to evolve over time.